It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. Saturday Night Wrestling has returned to Turner Networks, temporarily at least, and boy, this show was a trip. I'm John Rethen with my review of AEW Saturday Night Dynamite Delight. Hooray! No Disney MGM studio setting, mourn the pity, no haha or yuck. But man, this is a big hot load of nostalgia blasting me in the face to the point where it was dripping down my face, soaking into my skin, and I was having to ingest all these tangy, sour juices. And if it's tangy and sour, I probably should have a doctor check that out. Always get your checkup done, kids. Anyway, yeah, this show was a bit weird. Love to know what you guys have to say because I really didn't think this show was very good. I was able to watch it live because unlike on Wednesdays when I close, I work a little bit earlier on Saturdays. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. And man, this had big Herb Abrams UWF energy. You know, let's hear it for the piles and piles of cocaine. No hookers, unless they were outside the goddamn venues. Not judging. Everybody's got to earn a goddamn living. But holy fuck, this show, it had its moments and it was pretty goddamn sloppy. Something was really off. The chemistry, there was something just not quite working. Not quite coagulating here. Now that being said, given that last night's AEW Rampage, the buy-in and everything were live, this is their second straight live show, and I don't know, maybe some people were tired. Maybe some of the same fans were there. Maybe they taped some shit before this, and maybe it's the fact that the show was just a bit weird. So, JR, Shivani, Excalibur, and CM Punk on commentary. I do like the Punk does commentary, and at least they're getting their money's worth with him because he shouldn't wrestle on every goddamn show. He should wrestle as many young guys as possible and elevate them as best he can and get into some meaningful feuds. But that being said, at least they're utilizing him because I imagine he's probably getting 1.5, maybe 2 million a year because it must have cost a lot of goddamn money to get him to come back. So at least it seems like he's having fun. So it is what it is. Is the Bloom going to come off the rails pretty soon? Probably. They're probably going to have to switch him heel, but for now, he seems to be enjoying himself. Okay, so Malachi, Wendigo Black. That's what he's going to be now. Wendigo Black, because the antlers, everything, the spoopiness and all that. He was there, and then Dante's Martin Inferno. I'm just going to call him that. This was not divine nor a comedy, but boy, was it an inferno, as in this was a blast of sloppiness. Malachi can work. Dante Martin is very, very good. This just wasn't, it was a decent match at times, and then was kind of, I don't know what it was. Something was just off about this. Why was Leo Rush here? I've been asking that for the past few years. I know he's there because he's going to have an uneasy alliance with Dante Martin until maybe Dante realizes, hey, I can be a star. I really don't need a guy that has retired more times than Terry Funk, has wrestled in the past, 5 years. But anyway, Black did target the knee. Dante did some dives, and he did do some hesitation stuff, but also because they had a short stage, maybe he was trying to make sure he didn't, shatter his goddamn femur, wants to have a long career. He does sell his knee every time he does dive. And Malachi, who is quite good, there was a huge run by Dante. I don't know why they did the reverse run. I really don't know why they did that. That's fucking stupid. The poison run is a really dumb move. There was a single crab. Malachi kept selling his ribs for some reason. I mean, it was a bit odd. The timing was just a bit off here. And so Dante somehow got some of the mist on his face. So I think there was some kind of weird spot or whatever. Maybe he was supposed to mist him during the Boston Crab or the single crab, and it just, I don't. Maybe he's supposed to go, whoa, do that, and he just didn't. So anyway, he does hit the Black Mass for 3. So that was it. That was really it. And then we see a nod of approval. Maybe we're going to get Dante joining the House of Black. Top Flight of Black. I mean, Top Flight joining the House of Black because when is Darius is his name, right? His brother. When's he going to return? I'd kind of like to know. So then backstage we have Jurassic Express. Thankfully, 2 good members, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, get attacked by the Elite. The Elite. Thankfully, the Good Brothers, home of the Good Brothers. Maybe we take your order. We're not there, so this was a little less shit. Unfortunately, Cutler was there, so it was still shit. And the Bucks were dressed like goddamn idiots. This was the night of the ugly t-shirts because Omega and so many others, who the fuck told them that those shirts were good ideas? I really don't know. They mocked the powerbomb. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy did. The whole thing, oh, I'm amazed you recover from that powerbomb. So then they powerbomb through a table while Cutler takes a hold of the camera. And really, that's the best use of Cutler because we don't have to see him on camera. I have nothing against Cutler as a person. But this comedy shit, it's stupid. It's really, really fucking stupid. It only translates to a niche audience when they are trying to grow their ratings. And I know this is on a different night. I can't imagine that some of the stuff they did was really going to make the ratings pop. So anyway, the Inner Circle come out, and then America's Top Team is out there. And let me just say right now, this is one of the worst talking segments I've seen on a wrestling program, on a major wrestling program in a while. And I'm not just talking AEW, I'm talking WWE. As far as old men yelling at clouds, and Lambert, the sheepish lion Dan Lambert, you can tell that he's happy to be there and he's trying to make this work. But he just comes across as somebody that's just shouting dialogue, not letting anything breathe, getting to the point where it isn't quite working. And Jericho, he's bloated and he can't do anything anymore. He can't do anything anymore. Hager, he's just there. Sammy's very good. Santana and Ortiz, they need to break up the goddamn Inner Circle. This group ain't doing any good anymore. There's too many goddamn stables, and I'm not in all of wrestling in general. And the whole Inner Circle thing has been played out. And if they hadn't already blown their wad with blood and guts, they would have been able to maybe do a blood and guts thing here, but they won't do it at full gear. Or maybe they will hotshot it. So this feud will never end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. This is terrible. Jericho hits on Paige Van Sant, and boy, I'm sure his wife would love that, but Jericho has never gone and slept with somebody, and cheated on his wife with somebody younger. Oh, the pics with Kelly floated around, stuff like that. That's okay. His wife got back, by joining the insurrection attempt, and she's being investigated, apparently. Gee, shock of shocks. The whole point is taking that shit out. Jericho, I hope he's done soon. I think Fozzie's going on tour soon, and there's going to be a way to write him out, which I hope so, because I'm not going to say absence makes the heart grow fond. I don't want to see Jericho on my television anymore. Sammy can do fine on his own. Santana and Ortiz, they can do fine as a trio. They really don't need Jericho, and they really fucking don't need Hager. So I guess we're gonna have a 10-man tag at some point. I don't care. Paige Van Sant would actually probably be one of the better workers if you decide to have her in there. Somebody suggested Ruby or Thunder Rosa join the Inner Circle. Somebody else suggested Diamante, and I think Diamante might actually be the better choice. She has history with Proud and Powerful Santana Ortiz. But this is bad. So we get to the Lucha Bros with Alex versus Los Conquistafragos, as I called them, with Andrade. So it's a AAA tag title match. It was FTR in matches. Go Frogger Rangers, you mighty Morphin Frogger Rangers. Seriously, they look like the Green Rangers with this was bad. Now, the idea of the Lucha Bros versus FTR, pretty damn good. FTR gets quickly unmasked, and everybody dives, and they do stuff. They just do more stuff because it's a Lucha Bros match. And I love the Lucha Bros. I got to meet Penta about 2.5 years ago at an indie show, and got to see Phoenix do a kick where he kicked Aubrey to break up a 3 count, and we were all ready to freaking storm the goddamn ring. You never hurt our Aubrey, because we are Washington State, and we protect our own. Also, Aubrey's goddamn awesome. But they just do a whole bunch of dives and everything and stuff like that. They do some weird action where they're trying to get the belts involved. And then what happens is Phoenix does a dive. After Tully comes down to do a distraction, we get a belt to Phoenix's head, seemingly. And then Brainbuster 1, 2, 3. So suddenly, FTR are the new AAA Tag Team Champions. Okay. Forbidden Door? I guess. I don't mind FTR getting Tag Team Championship gold. I don't mind them winning titles, but this was just not done well at all. There was almost no build-up. Like, oh, look, FTR, they made a deal and everything. They got this, and we find out a little bit later what happened. But just, who cared? Who cared? And that's a shame, because both these teams are really talented. So, back to Shivani. Dante and Leo are going to be a de facto team, because we apparently, need to endure Leo Rush on the mic and in the wrestling ring. He can work. I just have not cared for Leo Rush personally. I like Dante Martin, though. MJF congratulates FTR and pays off Andrade. Leo. Where is my mind? And, well, it's in a wild thing. And, okay, Wheeler Yuta with Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley. The bell rang, and then the bell rang. Wheeler Yuta was laid out. Is Wheeler Yuta okay? Genuine question. Was he just selling? Was he really hurt? Did they have to rush this thing because they had no time? Or maybe because Wheeler was hurt, they go, okay, let's just do a quick thing. Because I'm not saying the match should have gone past a few minutes, but Wheeler just got destroyed. And then he was checked on by the doctor, and then Sheeta suddenly hits Serena in the face, and boy, I wish that was me. And that's it. They just have a bit of a brawl, and that's it. Okay, smash cut back to Super Clit Party. It's Adam Cole, baby, and the Young Bucks, the not so Young Bucks at this point, and Brandon Cutler with his cold spray. Who taking on the Dark Order? It was Silver and Uno and Reynolds. I don't care. Nothing against the Dark Order. I don't care. It was video game wrestling and the mummified ref. Rick Knox may be one of the worst referees that has been around in 30 years. I don't think he's a bad guy, but the ineffective ref. Why have a referee? Why have counts? Why have anything? And I know some people enjoy the Bucks matches. I will praise a couple of their matches on my favorite matches of the year list, believe it or not. This was sloppy. This was ridiculous. And I don't really care about the Dark Order. I don't care about the storyline. They were doing it because they wanted to help out Adam Hangman Page, as JR would say. And that was it. More video game stuff. Evil Sacco. It's not something evil, it's something Sacco. And then Lower the Boom for 3. Adam Cole, baby, gets the victory. And then Jungle Boy, oh, he's here to show his jungle love to Anna Jay. A happy couple. But anyway, he also gets a chair because he's going to even the odds. And then they leave Cutler while he tries to stupidly and comically spray cold, that cold spray stuff at a chair. It's not going to work. And then Jungle Boy locks in the snare trap. This did nothing for Jungle Boy. The Elite really aren't doing much of anything for anybody, if I'm being honest. I know some people like him, but I'm sticking to it. And then Stagey Cody is Stagey, and also Cody and Arn's trying to teach him a lesson. And he shows up at the Nightmare Factory school and everything, and Red Velvet slaps him. I volunteer to be slapped next time. Her and Kylan King hopefully getting more training, especially Velvet. Hopefully she can stop diving on her head. And Kylan King being in the Nightmare Factory, I think this is going to be beneficial to them. Arn wanted to teach Cody something, so he had all his students attack him. When a student turns on a teacher, and no, Mary Kay Letourneau is not involved. May she rot in hell for what she fucking did. And Arn just kept yelling at Cody. Who is this for? Oh, he's going to face Malachi Black again. Because Cody has to get his fucking win back. He has to go to the dark side. Yes. And he's going to bring Brandy out, and everybody's going to boo because nobody likes Brandy. Nobody wants to see Brandy Rhodes on television. If you think you do, you're wrong. I understand everybody has their opinions, but Brandy Rhodes on a television screen and people endorsing it is wrong. She needs to know that her place is not on a wrestling television program. Be backstage. Do something. You're riding the coattails, as it were, and you don't need to be there because shoes on the other foot, and Brandy was a star. Cody would be just as annoying as she is. So anyway, MJF knocks the fans and said, I'd rather not be in this place that smells like hookers and gasoline. Flies in the gasoline we are. And he just knocks Miami and everything, which I've never been to Miami. And I know some cool people there, so I'm not gonna knock the city. But he, just knocking him as only MJF can. To me, the best heel in wrestling, one of the best heel promo in wrestling, in my personal opinion. And MJF wants to face Darby, but, Darby was beaten down last week by the not Pinnacle. Clearly not. How dare you accuse him of that? And here's Bryce with Wardlow. And Wardlow's holding him, and he's telling Bryce to count out. By the way, people were knocking Bryce because of how he reacted during the Suzuki-Bryan Danielson match. Nothing wrong with Bryce Remsburg. I think he's a fine referee. Look at the WCW referees and how overly animated they were to some moves. And just some stuff in general. Slick Johnson, refs like that, overly animated refs do happen. But you know what? As long as they don't distract from the match, and Bryce didn't. And I like Bryce. I think he's a good referee. So, Blackout Snow, it's Sting! Punk was taking the piss out of a lot of this stuff. They were teasing Punk versus MJF at some point. At Revolution, I'm all for that. Revolution next year, that is. And then MJF sacrifices Wardlow, so Sting hits Wardlow with a baseball bat and then powers up and hits everybody. Hits everybody because 62-year-old Sting with spinal stenosis and a bad neck is invincible. Not the Pat Benatar song. And MJF feigns getting in there. I'm not against the idea of MJF versus Darby, but MJF versus Sting, no. MJF would protect him, but no. Just God, no. That would not do anything for him. Jericho, he was an old guy that faced off against MJF, and Sting's got more left than fucking Jericho, and MJF didn't really benefit from that feud with Jericho, even though he had some good stuff. So then Shivani is interviewing Anna Jay, who's interrupted by Britt, and then Britt proceeds to undress Anna in an oral fashion. Have fun on seeing that. And then a brief fisting action or whatever. Man, it's a good thing that Britt is a dentist. I know I might be blowing your mind, but Britt is a dentist. Kiera Hogan versus Penelope Ford. I have defended Penelope Ford in the past. Now, she is not bad, but Kiera Hogan, who's a good athlete and has had decent showings before, the timing was off. This was not good. Not good at all. I don't know why this went through a break. Penelope did win with the Moodle Lock variation. That's fine. She does that well. This wasn't good at all. Not a good showing for Kiera Hogan and not a very good showing for Penelope Ford. And then Ruby attacks Penelope, and then the bunny shows up to comfort Penelope in her own way. By not wrestling, hopefully, because the bunny isn't very good either. Ruby, I really, really hope. Ruby and Kiera Hogan teaming up maybe in a match against Penelope and the bunny, only if the faces win. This wasn't good. Miro wants his title back. He wants his baby back ribs, barbecue sauce. He can't go home to his wife or anything because God's favorite champion is God has forsaken him. He says, you gave me a body of granite and a neck of sand. Does this amuse you? Am I a clown? Do I amuse you? He says, you will make me your champion or you will make me your enemy. These are the words of the Reamer. No, but in all seriousness, this is a great promo. I encourage you guys to check this out. Miro did a really good job here with this promo. And has been killing it, and I was actually very surprised that they gave Sammy the championship, the Sammymanship, if you will. That didn't work one goddamn bit. But I'm surprised that they took the title off of Miro. It was what it was. So, Hangman goes over his highs and lows in an interview out in front of the crowd. Brings up his, how people say cowboy shit, and his shirt. I don't really know about the shirt. But then again, it wasn't as egregious as Omega shirts, because what shirts are. And he mentions his kid. That gets a pop and says the people still believe in him and he is going to be Kenny Omega come hell or high water. He's going to get back on his horse and he's going to step all over Omega and everything and crush the head with a hoof. Maybe not do that. That's kind of violent, but that would be interesting. Horse on a pole match. Vince Russo has struck again. I hope I didn't give many ideas. Fired up promo though from Hangman, sorry, I'm channeling JR here. Hangman, Miro, and MJF. Good promos. Everything else just got interrupted, didn't have a chance to breathe. So, next week on Rampage, which is going to be live also because we have another special Saturday Night Dynamite that I will be able to watch live. Britt versus Anna Jay. I hope that's good. I really hope it is. Pac versus Andrade 2, Electric Boogaloo, and Elimination Tournament match. We find out the tournament field a little bit later. Black versus Cody 3. Oh boy, people booed. They had to turn the mics down. People were booing. They don't like Cody. They don't want Cody to beat Black. You interpret that however you want. And 2 tournament elimination matches. Or eliminator matches. So, Fish versus Danielson. Fine enough. Danielson, I wonder how sore he was. And Fish, man, when Fish started wrestling, there was no history. His social security number is 1. He moves like he's about 20 years older than he really is, and I probably wouldn't knock Bobby Fish, but given who he associates with, Drake Wuertz, he can kick fucking rocks for all I care. Match was fine. It was fine. It was the best worked match of the night, and Bryan went with a heel hook. All right. So then we get the World Title Eliminator Tournament, announcement. There's only 8 participants, which is probably smart considering they only got a few weeks, or a couple weeks until Full Gear now. It's just under a month. 10 versus Mox. Cassidy, Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs, Willie Hobbs. Dustin versus Danielson, and Archer versus Kingston. I think Danielson's going to end up getting to the finals, and he will probably face off against Hobbs. I think that would be the best call. Punk not being in this, smart move. You really don't. Punk doesn't need the title. Danielson being the champion makes more sense, but it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethlin. I'll see you soon.